7 mornings, 1 sentence, 1 result, more offers and payments. You wake up tomorrow morning and before your feet even touch the ground, you speak 1 sentence that begins to rearrange the invisible world in your favor. Imagine that. Not a long prayer, not a complicated visualization, but a simple command that opens the gates for money, opportunities, and unexpected payments to flow directly into your life. You don't even have to believe it fully at first, because what I'm about to share works not just on belief, but on the undeniable law that the spoken word is creative power in motion. This principle draws deeply from the teachings of Florence Scovel Shinn, who emphasized that our words are not mere sounds but potent forces that shape reality, much like the biblical command, "Let there be light," brought forth creation. Think about it. Every business deal, every salary raise, every payment received starts first as a word somewhere, spoken in a meeting, written in a contract, whispered in a decision-maker's mind. Words create movements, and movements create money. Now, what if you could direct those words, timed precisely in a 7-day sequence, to multiply the inflow of money into your life? In Shinn's philosophy, the spoken word acts as a decree that the universe must obey, especially when aligned with divine law, turning abstract desires into tangible prosperity. This isn't about hoping something happens in the vague future. This is about giving a clear, timed order to the universe, an instruction backed by spiritual law, delivered with your own voice, and set to run like clockwork. Because money responds to movement, and movement begins with the word. Shinn often illustrated this with stories of clients who shifted from poverty to abundance, simply by changing their verbal declarations, proving that prosperity is not random but responsive to our commands. For the next 7 mornings, you will wake up and speak one very specific command. 7 mornings, 1 sentence, 1 result, more offers and more payments. This is not a metaphor, it's a ritual, a practical spoken transaction between you and the invisible supply that surrounds you right now. You will be speaking into the raw material of your reality, shaping it like a sculptor shapes clay, but instead of using your hands, you'll be using the vibration of your own voice. The vibration carries energy that resonates with the ether, drawing in what you've declared, as Shinn taught that the word is the wand of power. And here's the twist. The secret is not just in what you say, but when you say it, words released in certain windows of time, those fresh, open channels like the first breath of the morning, have a potency you can't get back later in the day. In this ritual, you'll be speaking into a moment when your mind is still uncluttered, your subconscious is listening, and the universe is unusually responsive. This isn't superstition, it's spiritual physics. You're syncing your verbal command with the rhythm of the unseen laws that govern prosperity. Shinn referred to these moments as divine timing, where affirmations gain exponential power because the mind is free from the day's distractions. Picture this, it's the first morning of your 7-day ritual. You take a breath, you speak the command, and something shifts. The phone rings with an offer, an old client reappears, an overdue payment clears. And by the 7th morning, you look back and realize this was never about luck, it was about alignment, timing, and authority over your own word. Many who followed Shinn's methods reported similar miracles, like unexpected inheritances or job offers, all triggered by timed spoken words. But before we dive into the exact command and the step-by-step timing of this ritual, I want you to know why it works, why a single sentence spoken in a specific 7-day rhythm can open financial channels you thought were blocked. It's rooted in the idea that the universe is abundant and responds to our decrees, but only when we speak with faith and precision, avoiding the pitfalls of doubt or inconsistency. And that sits where my own journey comes in. When I first discovered the principle behind the 7 days of multiplication, I wasn't looking for another ritual. I was looking for something that worked when the bills were due, when clients were hesitating, and when my own mind was starting to believe the noise of limitation. I remember a particularly tough month where freelance payments were delayed, and I felt trapped in a cycle of scarcity. I had read Florence Scovel Shinn's work for years, but I realized I had been treating her words like inspiration, not instruction. That was my mistake. She never intended for these truths to be poetic quotes on a page. They were commands for the soul, blueprints for action. And the action I would learn was not just thinking differently, it was speaking differently, on purpose, at the right time. Shinn's book The Game of Life is filled with examples where people transformed their finances by boldly declaring truths aloud, often in the face of apparent lack. Here's what I noticed. Every time I experienced a sudden influx of opportunities or money, it was preceded by a short, decisive statement I had spoken aloud. I didn't always realize it in the moment, but looking back, it was undeniable. And the most powerful results came when those statements were repeated daily for a short, specific period, never dragged on forever. For instance, once I declared unexpected income comes to me now every morning for a week, and by day 4, a forgotten rebate check arrived in the mail. Why? Because the mind loves a clear finish line. When you give it a timed container like 7 days, it engages with urgency, focus, and anticipation. And when the words you speak are aligned with spiritual law, you're not just convincing yourself, you're setting in motion a series of agreements in the invisible realm that ripple into the physical. Shinn explained this as the law of increase, where consistent spoken words multiply like seeds sown in fertile ground. Now let me be clear, this is not manifestation in the trendy, watered-down sense. This is spiritual jurisprudence. You are invoking 7 distinct laws, what I call the 7 prosperity directives, and using your voice as the legal document. These laws, adapted from Shin Sep's principles, are 1. The law of the word. Nothing moves until the word is spoken. 2. The law of assumption. You speak from the result, not toward it. 3. The law of substitution. You replace fear statements with wealth statements immediately. 4. The law of circulation. You expect money to flow both in and out freely. 5. The law of agreement. You align your words with the words of infinite supply. 6. The law of identity. You speak as the person who already possesses what you seek. 7. The law of obedience. You act promptly on the instructions your spirit gives you. Each of these will thread through the 7-day ritual. Every morning sentence is designed to embody all 7 laws at once, so you're not randomly affirming, you're commanding in legal spiritual language. Shinn's teachings underscore that these laws are universal, operating regardless of one's background, as long as they're applied with sincerity. When I applied this, the results startled me. On the 3rd morning of my first trial, I received a payment from a client I had written off months earlier. By day 6, an offer landed in my inbox that doubled my expected income for the month. I wasn't grinding harder, sending desperate messages, or forcing deals. It felt like the river just shifted course to run directly through my front door. This mirrored Shinn's anecdotes, where a simple affirmation like infinite spirit opened the way for my immediate supply, brought forth rapid financial relief. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't just about me. If these principles are laws, they work for anyone who understands them and applies them with precision. It's not talent, not luck. It's law. I've since shared this with friends, and one reported a promotion within the week after starting the ritual, attributing it to the disciplined verbal commands. The key, of course, is understanding how each law operates and how to activate them in your timed verbal commands. And once you see that clearly, the how of the 7-day multiplication ritual becomes obvious. But to truly grasp it, we must delve deeper into each law's mechanics. But understanding the laws is where most people fail, because they skim over them as if they were abstract ideas, instead of treating them like the mechanical, repeatable processes they are. Shinn warned against this, insisting that true prosperity comes from practical application, not intellectual musing. And that's exactly what we'll break down next. The detailed anatomy of each spiritual law of prosperity, and how you will wield them in your own spoken ritual. The 7 prosperity directives are not lofty ideals, they are working laws, as exact as gravity. If you ignore them, your results become unpredictable, inconsistent, or simply non-existent. But if you align your words and timing with them, you create conditions where money has no choice but to move toward you. Let's break each one down, and I'll show you how they apply directly to the 7 days of multiplication, with real-life illustrations inspired by Shinn's case studies. 1. The law of the word. Everything in creation begins with a word spoken, declared, and released. In the unseen realm, the spoken word is not just sound, it is substance. When you say, "I command new offers and payments to flow to me now," you are issuing an order into the field where all possibilities exist. Shinn shared a story of a woman who declared, "I have a wonderful work in a wonderful way," and soon received a job offer she hadn't applied for. In your life, think of the times when you said something with absolute certainty, whether "I'm getting this job" or "I'm moving to that city," and events bent around your declaration. The law of the word says until it's spoken, it's dormant. Until it's released, it's waiting. And in our ritual, your morning sentence is the ignition switch, setting off a chain reaction of abundance. 2. The law of assumption. You must speak from the reality you desire, not toward it. This is where most people fail. They pray or affirm as if they're still chasing, but spiritual law responds to identity, not need. Shinn illustrated this with a client who affirmed, "I am married to a divine idea," and attracted a prosperous partner effortlessly. So instead of "I will have more clients," you say, "I am fully booked with ideal, well-paying clients now." In this ritual, every morning's command is phrased as a present reality, so your subconscious and the unseen forces treat it as already done, closing the gap between desire and manifestation. 3. The law of substitution. Nature abhors a vacuum. So does the mind. You can't just stop negative thought, you must replace it instantly. If fear says, "What if no one pays me this week?" you immediately speak, "Money flows to me in perfect timing and abundance this week." Shinn advised replacing "I can't afford it" with "I can afford everything I desire," which often led to unexpected funds appearing. During these 7 days, if doubt creeps in, even mid-sentence, you replace it on the spot. This is like keeping your verbal channel clear of static so the signal of your command stays pure, preventing self-sabotage. 4. The law of circulation. Money is like blood. It must flow. If you grip it in fear, it stagnates. The law of circulation says, give freely, receive freely. Even if your giving is as small as paying for someone's coffee, you keep the channel open. Shinn recounted a man who tithed a small amount in faith and received a large sum in return, demonstrating the boomerang effect of generous flow. In the ritual, we pair your verbal commands with a conscious openness to let money move, not just sit. This prevents the dam effect, where blessings pile up unseen but can't reach you because you've blocked the flow, ensuring a steady cycle of inflow and outflow. 5. The law of agreement. Where two agree, it shall be done. This isn't just human agreement, it's alignment between your word and the word of infinite supply. If Source says abundance is yours, but you say, "I'm broke," you've made an agreement with the wrong statement. Shinn emphasized agreeing with divine promises, like affirming, "My supply is endless," to override lack. In the 7 days of multiplication, every command aligns your voice with the truth of abundance, no contradiction allowed. You become a co-signer on your own prosperity, harmonizing with universal wealth. 6. The law of identity. You can't manifest what you secretly believe you're unworthy of. The law of identity says, speak as the version of you who already owns the blessing. If a wealthy version of you walked into the room, how would they speak? That's the voice you use for 7 mornings straight. Shinn taught that identifying as a child of the king brings royal treatment from life. You'll find that as you speak from this identity, your posture, tone, and decisions shift to match it, and money follows identity like metal follows a magnet, drawing opportunities that align with your elevated self-view. 7. The law of obedience. Once you've spoken the command, be ready to act on the nudge. Spiritual law will often send you an inspired idea, a call to reach out, or a sudden opportunity. Obey instantly. Delay is the silent killer of manifestation. Shinn's clients succeeded by following intuitive prompts after affirmations, like contacting a distant relative who then provided aid. In the ritual, your job is to speak, and then move when the door opens, even if it looks small or unexpected, turning potential into actualized prosperity. When all 7 laws are activated together, something remarkable happens. The time gap between word and result begins to shrink. This is why a 7-day structure works so powerfully. It harnesses all 7 laws in a compressed, focused cycle, creating a buildup of spiritual momentum that's almost impossible to stop. Shinn's principles suggest that such rhythms mimic natural cycles, like the 7 days of creation, amplifying creative power. Now, knowing the laws is one thing, applying them with precise timing is another, and that's where your daily practice comes in. We're going to map exactly what you say, when you say it, and how you handle the rest of each day so your command doesn't get cancelled by competing words or energy. We'll also include tips for common challenges to ensure seamless execution. But that's where we step from theory into execution, and once you start, you'll feel the shift by the 2nd morning. Here's sets where we move from knowing to doing. Your 7 days of multiplication daily rhythm. Think of this as a precise spiritual appointment you keep with yourself and the unseen forces that respond to your word. For the next 7 days, this is your prosperity schedule. Follow it exactly, and you'll see why the timing is just as important as the words. Consistency builds the energetic field, making each day cumulative. The daily framework. Morning command, within first 3 minutes of waking. The moment your eyes open before your mind is flooded with yesterday's news or today's to-do list, you speak the daily command sentence aloud. This is when your subconscious is in a receptive alpha state, your words go in like seeds into freshly turned soil. Avoid checking your phone first, as it introduces external vibrations that dilute the purity. You sit up, place your feet on the ground, and say clearly and deliberately, "All offers, payments, and opportunities that belong to me multiply and arrive now, in perfect order, through channels seen and unseen." That's it, one sentence. But you speak it as if it is already happening, with the tone of someone confirming a delivery, not begging for it. Feel the words vibrate in your chest, for added potency. Why first 3 minutes? This is the spiritual window when your conscious mind has not yet started filtering and doubting. It's like sending a direct message to the creative engine without interference, maximizing the law's responsiveness. Hourly reset, optional but powerful. If you want to accelerate results, every hour on the hour, just a short whisper or quiet statement, repeat. Everything I need is rushing to me now. It's not about volume, it's about rhythm. Think of it as tapping the spiritual accelerator to keep momentum building all day. Set a gentle alarm to remind you, turning it into a habit that reinforces the ritual's flow. Midday observation, law of obedience in action. Around midday, notice any nudges or invitations, emails, messages, ideas that feel like small open doors. Your role, step through them without delay. Example, you feel a sudden pull to follow up with someone, or you remember a proposal you meant to send. Do it instantly. This shows you're cooperating with the channels your words are opening. Journal these actions briefly to track patterns. Evening gratitude seal. Before bed, speak the evening seal. This is where you secure the flow so it continues working as you sleep. I give thanks that money, offers, and payments have multiplied for me today and will multiply again tomorrow. Then, visualize one scene, just one, that represents this result. For example, seeing an email notification of a payment, or signing a contract. Keep it short and sweet, no more than 30 seconds, to avoid mental fatigue. Handling resistance. During the 7 days, you may feel doubt or catch yourself thinking, "Nothing sep's happening." The law of substitution comes in here. Immediately replace it out loud. Example. Doubt. What if this doesn't set work? Replacement. It sep's already working. Money is moving toward me now. Every replacement is like repairing a small tear in the fabric before it unravels. If resistance is strong, take a deep breath and affirm twice for reinforcement. Tracking proof. Each day write down any sign of movement, an unexpected message, a small payment, a potential lead. These are first fruits that show the ritual is taking root. Don't dismiss small beginnings. In spiritual law, they're proof the current has started. Review your journal nightly to build faith and notice accelerating patterns. Day-by-day energy shift. Day 1, 2. You may feel an inner click of confidence. Small responses begin to appear like a complimentary email or minor refund. Day 3, 4. Momentum builds. Multiple small channels open, perhaps a new inquiry or resolved debt. Day 5, 6. Flow intensifies. Offers and payments arrive faster, such as a surprise bonus or client renewal. Day 7. Culmination. Often the largest or most unexpected result lands, like a major contract or windfall. By the end, you'll have not only tangible results, but also a trained rhythm you can repeat anytime your finances need a deliberate boost. Many repeat monthly for sustained growth. Now that you know how to move through each day, we can layer in the exact affirmations you'll use, crafted to embody all 7 laws in one breath, so you're not just repeating words, but delivering high-authority commands that the universe treats as binding. That steps where your language turns magnetic. Here are the affirmations that will run like the power lines of your 7 days of multiplication ritual. These are not filler phrases, they are precision tools, engineered to activate all 7 prosperity laws in a single breath. They are designed to be spoken with certainty, not hope, and to carry the tone of someone announcing a fact, not making a request. Customize slightly if needed, but keep the core structure intact, for efficacy. Core morning command. Spoken within the first 3 minutes of waking. All offers, payments, and opportunities that belong to me multiply and arrive now, in perfect order, through channels seen and unseen. This covers law of the word. You speak and set creation in motion. Law of assumption. It's stated as now, not someday. Law of agreement. You align with infinite supply, not lack. Law of identity. You speak as the owner of the blessing. For variation on day 3, add with ease and joy to infuse emotional uplift. Hourly reset affirmation. Optional but potent. Every hour on the hour. Everything I need is rushing to me now. This keeps your field clear of doubt and signals continuous openness to receive. It's like tapping the spiritual accelerator all day long. If whispering isn't possible, think it strongly while touching your heart. Midday flow statement. Spoken once during midday to renew flow and act as circulation trigger. Money flows to me and through me in perfect rhythm and abundance. Here you activate law of circulation, ensuring you stay a clear channel, not a stagnant pond. Pair it with a small act of giving, like donating $1 online, to amplify. Evening gratitude seal. Spoken before sleep, after visualizing a single scene of receipt. I give thanks that money, offers and payments have multiplied for me today, and will multiply again tomorrow. This seals your day's work, triggers law of substitution, if doubt tried to creep in, and programs your subconscious to keep the flow active overnight. End with a smile to lock in positive vibration. Emergency override. Used instantly when fear, doubt, or negativity appears. That is not my truth. My truth is that I am a magnet for multiplied wealth, offers and payments now. This statement does 2 things. It cancels the negative agreement, law of agreement, and replaces it instantly with a prosperity identity, law of identity. Use it as many times as needed, even silently in public. 7-day booster optional. On day 4 and day 7, key energy peaks in the cycle. Add this as a bonus declaration right after your morning command. Every good thing I have spoken is established now, and nothing can block its arrival. This affirms law of obedience. You've spoken, and now you expect swift cooperation from every level of reality. It serves as a shield against external skepticism. How to speak these affirmations for maximum power. Tone. Calm authority as if confirming a shipment, not pleading for one. Pace. Steady, intentional, never rushed. Pause slightly after keywords like now for emphasis. Breath. Inhale before speaking, release the entire phrase on a single out-breath. This gives the words a solid, uninterrupted flow. Practice in front of a mirror to build conviction. Presence. When you speak, mean it. Imagine every syllable carrying weight in the unseen, rippling out like waves in a pond. By cycling these affirmations at their set times, you are not just thinking positively, you are running a deliberate timed verbal program that instructs reality to rearrange in your favor. Over time, this rewires your neural pathways for abundance. And once these affirmations are in place, all that's left is to act on the signals the ritual brings you. Because without action, even the strongest word can stall. Shinn stressed that faith without works is dead, so obedience completes the circuit. That's why in our final step, I'll give you the closing push, the call to action that seals your commitment and makes the 7 days of multiplication more than an experiment. It becomes your personal financial turning point. Here sits the truth. The 7 days of multiplication is not a maybe game. It's a contract you make with yourself, your word, and the unseen laws that never fail. If you treat it casually, you'll get casual results. But if you treat it like a binding agreement, you'll witness what I call the point of no return, that moment when money, offers, and opportunities start moving toward you so fast, it would actually take effort to stop them. This is the essence of Shinn's teachings. Decisive faith-filled action yields divine results. So here sits my call to you. For the next 7 mornings, Commit. Not 5, not when I remember, but 7 consecutive mornings. No breaks, no excuses. Speak the core command in the first 3 minutes of waking. Seal your day at night. Use the hourly resets if you want to accelerate. And most importantly, act when the nudge comes. Prepare by setting intentions tonight, perhaps journaling your current financial state for contrast later. Don't overthink how it will happen. That's not your department. Your role is to speak, stay in alignment, and move on the signals you receive. The invisible laws handle the architecture. You handle the door opening. Trust the process as Shinn did when she affirmed for others and saw instant turnarounds. Here sits what I want you to remember. With asterisk, a single sentence spoken with authority can reverse months of stagnation. Asterisk, 7 days of focused command can reroute the flow of your financial life. Asterisk, the more you embody the identity of someone who already receives with ease, the faster reality bends to match it. If you start tomorrow, by the same time next week, you could be holding confirmation emails, payment notifications, or signed agreements that didn't set exist today. And when they arrive, and they will, you'll know it wasn't luck. It was law, activated by your word, timed with precision, and obeyed by everything that hears it. Share your results with a trusted friend to multiply the energy further. So here sits my final charge. Mark your start date now. Speak your first command tomorrow morning. Write down every proof, big or small. By day 7, you will not just be talking about abundance, you will be living inside it. The door is open. Step through, speak, and multiply. Because money is already moving toward you, you only need to tell it when to arrive. Embrace this as your new normal, and watch prosperity become effortless.